Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever been watching a game and seen an ad for a betting company in a place where you're pretty sure betting is, illegal? It's kind of confusing, right? Well, today we're going to unravel exactly how this happens, and we're going to use the world of sports to guide us.
So, our story kicks off in the southern Indian state of Tamil Nadu, right in the middle of a heated cricket match, because what's happening on the field seems to fly right in the face of the law of the land.
So, the rule itself, it's crystal clear. The Tamil Nadu government has passed laws that flat out prohibit online gambling. The state even has its own regulatory body, the Tamil Nadu Online Gaming Authority, or TNOGA, to enforce this. So, case closed, right? Well, not quite. If you're watching the Tamil Nadu Premier League, you're going to see star players, guys like R. Ashwin, wearing jerseys with logos of companies that are, for all intents and purposes, betting firms. And this is the paradox we're talking about. A state-level ban meaning a very public, very visible sponsorship. So how on earth is this possible? The answer is all about a really clever and, honestly, pretty well-established marketing strategy. It's a tactic that's specifically designed to navigate these kinds of legal gray areas. So let's break down the playbook. This strategy is called surrogate advertising, and it's not new at all. In fact, you've probably seen it for years with alcohol brands. They'll promote everything from club soda to music CDs. The whole point isn't really to sell the soda. It's to keep the main brand name, the alcohol brand, top of mind. Well, online betting firms have adopted this exact same strategy. And here's exactly how that playbook works in practice. A betting app like 1xBet, they don't sponsor a team directly. No. Instead, they do it through 1xBet, which they present as a sporting line. Or the betting app Dafabet becomes Dafa News. They create these news or sports content platforms that are perfectly legal to advertise, but which basically function as a giant billboard for their main regulated business.
So as you can imagine, regulators aren't just sitting back and letting this happen, but their response has basically created this huge nationwide game of regulatory whack-a-mole.
At the national level, the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting stepped in. They issued multiple advisories, putting some serious pressure on major TV networks and social media platforms to stop running ads for online betting sites, and that included these surrogate ads. And for a little while, it actually worked. The big, flashy TV commercials mostly vanished. But the advertising didn't actually stop, it just changed its shape. The industry went through what one expert called a marketing metamorphosis. So instead of a few big TV campaigns, they just shifted to a much more fragmented approach. Billboards, ads on the sides of buses and cabs, sponsoring smaller sporting events, using social media influencers, and even doing direct outreach through closed channels like Telegram and WhatsApp. And make no mistake, we are talking about big money here. In 2022 alone, it's estimated that these offshore betting companies spent around 3,500 crore rupees. That's about $420 million on advertising in India. And that spending has only gone up since. It's just become a lot harder to track. And all of this brings us right to the heart of the problem, this fundamental loophole that makes this entire situation possible. It's a classic conflict between state laws and the lack of a single, unified national law. Okay, so here's the crucial point. On one hand, you've got states like Tamil Nadu taking a really firm stance. Their authority, TNOGA, can act, and they do. They've even gone after a call taxi service in Chennai for running betting ads on its cars. But, and this is a huge but, their power has a limit. They can't just block an offshore betting app that isn't based in India, and this is where the giant loophole appears. There is no single, powerful law from the central government of India that governs online betting nationwide. This creates the perfect legal gray area for these international companies to waltz right in. And listen to this quote from a senior TNPL official, because it really says everything. They are completely caught in the middle. They argue that because there's no explicit nationwide ban from a body like the Advertising Standards Council of India, or ASCI, against these specific surrogate brands, their hands are basically tied. They're pointing directly at that gap in federal rules as the reason these sponsorships continue, not just in Tamil Nadu, but in sports leagues all across the country.
Now, just to add one final layer of complexity to all of this isn't just a local or a national issue. The rules of the global sporting world actually play a huge part in this as well.
So, for almost 20 years, the International Cricket Council had this super strict ban on any betting sponsors on team uniforms. This was a rule they put in place after some major match-fixing scandals. But then, in May 2023, they completely flipped the script for certain series, essentially telling each country's cricket board, hey, you decide for yourself.
And by January of the next year, the West Indies team immediately took advantage of this. It just goes to show that global sports policy is moving in a direction that could make these local laws even more complicated.
So it leaves us with this final thought. You've got state governments trying to enforce bans, a central government without a clear overarching law, and global sports bodies that are actually loosening their own rules. In this complex and fragmented regulatory game, the only clear winners seem to be the very companies that are masters of playing in the gray areas.